So like they said, my name is Gabe Villamizar, Villamizar, Villasminar. I'm fine either way. But, and my good friend Jack Kosakowski.
So, yeah, Jack with Creation Agency. I'm, pioneering social sales, I guess you could say. So if anybody doesn't think it's real, we need to have a talk after this, so keep that in mind.
And thank you guys for being here. I know it's very early in the morning. You guys are the true pioneers, being here, wanting to learn, and we're gonna pack as much content in the next 28 minutes. And Jack and I are pretty ADD. I know we have a lot of content, but we want you to have in mind 3 specific principles, okay, while we go through all of these slides, and we're about to cover those in a second. So like we said, we're gonna cover top mistakes that salespeople are making. And Jack and I, when we found out about 6 months ago that we were actually gonna be doing this, we said, what could be a good relevant topic that is gonna resonate with our audience, both marketers and salespeople? And we thought, there's so many people trying to cold call us, cold email us, or social sell us to sell us their product or service. And we literally took down and jotted down hundreds of cold calls, hundreds of cold emails, and hundreds of crappy social selling methods of B2B sales reps trying to reach out to us and get our attention. So that's what we're gonna cover today. Like I said earlier, Gabe Villamizar, the former social selling director at HireView, where I coach and train 66 sales reps on the science of social selling. And I was there for a little bit over 2 years, and a month ago I did the transition and went over to Lucidchart, or Lucid Software, the makers of Lucidchart and LucidPress, so check that out when you have a chance. And we're gonna go into some data, okay? In that data, we're gonna be covering 5 sales plagues. And in those 5 sales plagues, we're gonna be covering a few bad examples, good examples, and some excellent examples of how people are leveraging these tactics on buyers like ourselves or like yourself. So leaving, sales plague number 1, leaving horrible voicemails. The average voicemail response rate is about 4.8%. And most likely your sales reps right now, whether the SDRs, BDRs, AEs, or account managers, are constantly leaving voicemails. And if their average response rate is 4.8, why are we still allowing that to happen? Another data set, 15% of sales reps' time is simply leaving voicemails. Ring lead, very good data point right there. So the 5 mistakes that we noticed over and over and over, there's too many filler words left in a voicemails. You knows, right. Okay, I'll pay you 20 bucks, whoever can count the most rights that Jack says in this presentation. So what I'm trying to get here is too many filler words. They don't personalize the message. Extremely long voicemails. They don't state the why. I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek and the golden circle, the golden principle. Don't tell people what you do. Don't tell people how you do what you do. Tell them the why, and the rest will come on its own if you're a good salesperson. And then the last but not least, you can reach me at. People will repeat this phone number 1, 2, or 3 times. Nobody is gonna memorize your phone number, so stop saying that. Again, while we go through these, there's 3 things that I want you to keep in mind. Number 1, do your research. Number 2, it's gonna be personalize the message. And number 3 is be relevant. If you add those 3 principles, then you're gonna have more conversations. At the end of the day, we all wanna have more sales conversations. More sales conversations gonna equal more opportunities. More sales conversations gonna equal more closed deals. And more conversations gonna create more sales pipeline. So we're really gonna go dive into some examples of people who left us voicemails, and we actually muted the company, the people, and a bunch of other things. And if the audio doesn't work out, I kind of repeat the voicemail, and let's go ahead and play the bad number 1.
I just wanted to reach out quickly, put a voice to our conversation. We've connected here on LinkedIn and Twitter about social selling. And so I want to just thank you for that stuff you post, man. You've really put up some great stuff on social selling. Learned quite a bit from what you're doing, so appreciate that. Call me back whenever you get a minute. Here's my mobile.
Okay, so for those of you who couldn't understand that, the guy just simply said, hey Gabe, we connected on LinkedIn. Hey Gabe, we also connected on Twitter. Just because those 2 instances happen doesn't mean that he has the right to just simply call me and expect to have a conversation with me and expect me to give him my attention and have just some random conversation. Again, bad example. Let's go on to the next one. So the good. Let's show a good example of how people are leaving a good voicemail, and let's go ahead and play the good number 1.
Hi, Gabe. Trust you had a nice weekend. Dan Strauss calling from Insight Squared. The reason I'm calling is, and I sent you a couple of notes on this, but look, I think from what I've read about what you're posting online, I think you'd appreciate what we're doing here at Insight Squared for high growth sales teams. I wanted to get your feedback as to whether you think it would be a great fit for HireVue. Looking for 5 minutes with you. I'll send you a note by email as well, but if you want to reach me, my cell phone is 7.
Okay, great guy from Insight Squared. He said he wanted 5 minutes of my time. The voicemail's about 20 seconds or less. He actually did his research, and he found that I write a lot of content on social selling. He knew that we were in hyper growth mode in the sales space, and he did his research. Again, he did his research, he personalized the message, and the message was relevant. That's gonna equal a conversation. Let's go over one ugly example and place the ugly number 2.
So I had a couple questions for you. I was hoping maybe you could help me out. Give me a call back on my direct line when you have a moment.
Okay, that was it. It's like, hey, my name is so-and-so.
And it was a deep, creepy voice. Did anybody notice that?
Let me, yeah, hey, I have a question for you. Call me back at this number. You serious, dude? I mean, come on now. Now let's go over some voicemail best practices, and I'll turn it over to Jack for sales plague number 2. Keep it 20 seconds or less. Don't sell. Add value. Use your normal tone of voice as you would talk to face, and at the end of the day, again, you want to do your research. Number 2, you want to personalize your message. Number 3, you want to be relevant. Again, we're going to go over these principles over and over, so ingrain them in your mind. That's going to equal more conversations. Let's turn it over to Jack.
All right, cool beans. So I'm gonna give you the same 3 themes that Gabe just went over. So you're gonna hear those. So I'm Jack, Global Head of B2B Social Sales Execution at Creation Agency. So I work with global sales teams of all sizes to infuse social media into their sales process to get the result of revenue. Now, I was formerly at Acton. I did $1.5 million in 2 years. Acton's considered a startup. 9 to 12K deal size. So, I practice what I preach. And one of the things that I really preach is don't do this. I mean, I bet every single one of you right now is sick of getting pitches on LinkedIn, sick of getting, responses from people that haven't earned the right to even ask you for anything, especially your time or your business. So this is an interesting stat. In-mail response rate is 3x higher than a regular email. Now let me ask you, does anybody ever respond to an in-mail? Because I find this stat probably not to be too accurate at the moment. It used to be a competitive, oh, you guys do? Okay, so Coca does, we know, he loves in-mails. But what I will tell you is that this number, obviously it's gotta be somewhat accurate, but if you personalize your message, you do your research, and you're relevant, then maybe this number would be true. But I challenge you, how many of your salespeople are actually doing that? A prospect is 46% more likely to accept an in-mail if they are connected to someone who works at your company. I find this really interesting. There's a new adage in the digital age that people want to do business with people that are connected. And it's even more powerful that people want to do business with people that have a common connection. So as we go through this, you're going to see this theme right here is relevance, right? If you don't know who somebody is, it doesn't even matter if they personalize their message. Commonality and relevance is really going to drive this and get you a result of more conversations, because we know that in sales, everything starts and ends with a conversation. Where that conversation happens is changing. So the top LinkedIn messaging mistakes. Ditch the pitch, right? I mean, you should not be pitching at all. Relevance. If you are messaging somebody, make sure they're your target buyer, right? Do your research. You cannot ask for something that you didn't work hard for, right? You can't ask for something you didn't earn. And personalization. We're going to keep hitting personalization, you guys. Go through your inbox, your email inbox, your LinkedIn inbox when we're out of here, and I want you to count the number of messages that are actually personalized. And when I say that, not just dear Jack or dear your name, I'm talking about relevant personalization. It's not happening. It's really not happening. So here's an example of the bad. I'm one of the top social selling influencers, and this person sent me a message asking me if I wanted expert LinkedIn advice. Like, really? This is the worst. When you visit somebody's profile and they send you a message thanking you for visiting their profile and asking you what they could do for you. Are you kidding me? Like, stop doing this, people. Like, there's no value in this message. And to be honest, we do a lot of searching on LinkedIn. I don't know, there's a lot of times where I have no idea who people are. Maybe they came and looked at me. So in my opinion, this is just really, really bad for business. So the good. I like to call it sales messaging value versus ask. How can you figure out how you can get into conversation with your buyer and lead with value? This is value messaging. And let me tell you why. They reached out to me, and they know that I write a lot of content. They know that I write a lot of content on different channels. They offered me access to their channel. That is value to me. And they did their research. They know this is relevant. And actually, I'm in talks with them right now to give them some content. Here's another great message. Reason being, the subject line. For the last 6 months, it has been a huge, it's been one of the major agendas for us is employee advocacy. So I know one thing, they went and read my content or were watching the content that I was sharing, and they were looking at the questions I was asking on social, because we're really, really digging deep into this. So right away in the messaging, I knew that they had done their research. Second piece to this is, well, I guess you could see that employee advocacy was on your radar. From the sounds of it, this could be a really interesting conversation. What I like about that is that sparks, interesting conversations are something I love to have, right? Especially if they're relevant. And the interesting thing about this is that their software is probably going to fix the problem that I have. This is another message, and one of the very few that actually got me in a conversation. They're probably going to get a deal. So I'm not going to go into all 5 of these, but let's just really think about this. If you want your salespeople to have more conversations, 3 things have to happen. They have to do their research, they have to personalize their message, and the third one, you got to be relevant. And I want to challenge every single one of you to go into your salespeople's inboxes after this and check for all 3 things. If you don't have all 3 of those, you need to do a training with your sales team.
All right, Jack, let's do this. Sales play number 3, now researching your buyer. Again, guys, these are real life examples of how B2B sales reps have been hitting us up. This is not fluff, this is the real deal. And let's go on with some more data points. Personalized emails improve click-through rates by 14% and conversion rates by 10%. Personalized emails deliver 6 times of higher transaction rates. The crappy mistakes, the bad ways sales reps have been leveraging by not researching the buyer is they target non-decision makers. They just do a mass spray and pray approach. They don't personalize the message, communicating on the wrong channel. The director of Marketo, the director of sales of Marketo sent me a tweet last night saying that she wants to meet up. The head of business development for what was it? Crystal Knows Me tweeted at me and said, hey Gabe, let's grab some beers, etc. Okay, those people know that I live, breathe, and sleep on Twitter. If those individuals were to reach out to me via email or via phone call, just like the hundreds of phone calls and emails I've gotten over the past 2 weeks because people know I'm coming here, I probably would have ignored them. So they did their research, they know I live and breathe on LinkedIn and in Twitter, and the rest was history. A few bad examples, I'm not gonna go too much deep into this. These are testaments. I actually till this day haven't read these. I just straight up copied and pasted them. That's how bad they are. Bad long examples, I don't have time to read this. I mean, I have two kids under the age of 3. I'm changing diapers all day long. To be honest, I don't have time to read this. The good, nice and short, this is a LinkedIn message. I tried emailing you, and then they go on right there, nice and short. The one on the right is a Twitter direct message. What happens here is this person knows I'm into Twitter chats. They have a call to action telling me that, hey, Gabe, why don't you join our next Twitter chat? And it's nice and short and to the point. An ugly example is, again, it's super long, and the one on the left, the one on the right is one of my ultimate favorites. Hey, Gabe Villamizar, thanks for the follows, plural. Not sure why they would put follows instead of follow. Much appreciated, glad to connect with you. If you have time, please visit our website. That's one call to action to help your business connect with me also on Google+. I mean, you're only telling me to do one thing, dude. You're telling me to do two things, and I don't even know you. And last, to make it even like the cherry on top right here is via statusbrew.com. This person cannot afford $5 a month to remove this little snippet at the end. Okay, this is obviously a bot, so this is a social media service that directs message people automatically as you follow people or as you accept people. And again, you become immune to these messages. And if you haven't seen these, you should be seeing these quite a bit. Now, what are 3 tools right now that are breaking the industry, that are disrupting the industry, and that are killing it? Number 1, Rifle by CrowdRiff is this ultimate creeper status tool that's going to help you find anything about anybody on Twitter. It's free, it's a Google Chrome extension, it's one of my ultimate favorites. If you do some research, then include that research in an email, and then you're gonna sound like a rock star. Number 2, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I'm a huge advocate of LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and anybody who's against LinkedIn Sales Navigator, they really don't know the value of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Let's just put it this way, LinkedIn Free gives you probably 30% of the data of the 450 million users that LinkedIn has. LinkedIn Premium probably gives you like 50 to 60% of the data of the people. Okay, LinkedIn Sales Navigators probably gives you 80 to 90% of access to people in the LinkedIn database. So you're paying to reach the right decision maker, plus all the other perks and benefits that come with that. And my ultimate favorite, Nova.ai. It's the best way if you want to send a mass email to a lot of people in a personalized one-to-one scale. Again, that's Nova.ai, and that's killer. Those are 3 actionable tools. First one's free, the other 2 are paid, but highly recommend those to research your buyer.
Okay, so everything that is wrong with email today, we're going to keep hammering on this. I'm going to fly through this because there's a couple good examples, but I think you guys get this for the most part. 55% of companies generate more than 10% of sales from email. Pretty powerful number. My guess is 55% of the companies that do generate 10% of the sales from email aren't doing it right. So imagine if you were doing it right, what that number would be. 40% of emails are opened on mobile first, where the average mobile screen can only fit 4 to 7 words max. Here's what I challenge you to do. Go read your salespeople's emails, right? No matter if it's personalized, they've done the research or it's relevant, if your buyer can't see it on their mobile, or it's super long, or it doesn't look right, your salespeople are wasting their time. So start optimizing your message for mobile. Terrible mistakes, mass messaging. Your salespeople should be doing one-to-one messaging, especially if you're in bigger deal sizes. There's absolutely no reason you need to do the mass message. No personalization, asking for something they didn't deserve, not mobile optimized, no clear business value, relevance. Here's one, the lying assumption, customer success marketing. This is a terrible email, and I get these all the time. Assuming that I know them or I know of them, I have no clue who this person is. I didn't meet him at AdvoCamp. That was BS. And I wouldn't even fit that product. Spray and pray. I bet a lot of you are doing this. Quit. Here's a funny one. They actually spelled they spelled something wrong here if you didn't notice. But you know what's funny about this is how personalized it was. And they flatter, they give a little flattery. I love that. But the human element of this is that, yeah, they did spell something wrong, and I don't suggest you do that, but at least I knew that they took time and put it together one-to-one, and also it was relevant. And I actually responded to this. The ugly, what is your availability this week to get on a call? Oh, don't do that. That's the worst. Like, come on. And you know, it might look crazy, but I bet your salespeople are doing it. Actionable tips. Would I respond to my own message? Every single one of your salespeople should read the message 5 times, and if they wouldn't answer their own message, don't send it. Quality always beats quantity. And if you want to have that argue with me after this, I will have it all day long. Personalize using your own buyer data. There's so many social channels, there's so many ways that your buyers are telling you what's important to them personally and professionally. You are lazy if you're not using that in your messaging. Did you earn the right to ask? Persistence in strategy, you know, less is best.
All right, and the last plague, okay, we got to cruise through this. The last plague is about personal branding. Okay, your sales reps are who Google, Twitter, and LinkedIn say they are. Let me say that one more time. Your sales reps are who Google, Twitter, and LinkedIn say they are. If the buyer can't find your sales reps in a professional manner on those platforms, then they're missing out and they're obviously elongating and increasing the sales cycle. I'm not going to go over these data points. I think everybody's pretty familiar with these. But I want to pinpoint my good friend. I'm obviously a little bit biased, from Blake Harbor from Lucidchart. He's obviously, I met him, we hired him at HireVue, and the guy took on social selling like a storm, and he's writing a lot of content. He's been doing great. As you can see here, his picture's up to date, okay? He has a background image that screams Lucid software. If you go to his Twitter profile, guess what? The same Twitter image, the same profile image, and the same backdrop. So clearly, if the buyer wants to find Blake on Twitter, they're going to be able to find them. If the buyer wants to find Blake on LinkedIn, they're not going to help them do any homework. It's just going to be bam, right there. So the bad examples, this person is a VP. Clearly, I have to block some things for the privacy. If you go to their Twitter profile, they forgot to update their Twitter profile. And I mean, this is a VP of a huge corporation. I mean, if you're going to have an online presence, you better keep it up to date. And if you do a job change or if you have a promotion, you better get on with it. The ugly, this example has no background image. The profile picture was not worth it, so I blocked it out. I couldn't even find him on Twitter. Guys, Twitter is not dying. There's this, obviously all these rumors going out, and Twitter is dying, and Twitter's gonna get acquired by Salesforce or Microsoft or Disney or whatever. Twitter is here to stay, okay? And we're just barely scratching the surface of Twitter in the B2B space. A few best practices on personal branding. If you wanna take a picture of this, I'm just gonna pass the last bit to Jack to close us off.
All right, so, you know, we talked about the good, the bad, the ugly. 3 key themes throughout this whole thing: do your research, personalize your message, and be relevant. So if you take anything away, remember those 3 things and hammer those into your salespeople's heads. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is, this is just a little bonus tip, right? So right now, if you are stuck in the process, the sales process of phone, email, phone, email, phone, email, phone, email, like, wake up, okay, you guys? There's a lot more channels that you need to add to, whoa. So here's a stat. I'm gonna give you this real quick. On average, it took HireVue 22 touches to set an appointment at the enterprise level. 16 of those touches were social. Just think about that. I'm not even gonna dive into it. I want that to, you take a picture and read it 15 times. Okay, so the social sales rep, you're hearing a lot about social selling. I'm going to tell you at the most simple level, if you're only doing phone, email, take a picture of this. It's not that difficult, you guys. Don't make social selling that difficult. This is your new workflow. 5x value versus ask. A lot of buzzwords around value. I simplified value for you.
All right, well, to wrap things up, we wanted to have this slide. These are the 5 sales plays that we discovered and that we wanted to share with you. Again, do your research, personalize your message, and at the end of the day, have your message be relevant. Thank you so much for coming, and it's been a pleasure.